Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happens for the sake of it. For those who follow the politics of this country very closely, William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, yesterday concluded his 5-day tour of the Luhya Nation. But something also happened during that tour. William Ruto decided to visit the home of Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barasa. Why do you think William Ruto decided to visit Barasa at his home? That is something which is significant, politically speaking. And in this video, I want to try and explain to you guys the objective which William Ruto wanted to achieve by visiting the home of Barasa. This is what Barasa posted. My wife, Professor Janet Kasili Barasa, and I were privileged to host His Excellency President William Ruto at our home in Arambe in Matungu sub-county. We are deeply grateful for his gracious acceptance of our invitation and for sharing a meal with us as he concluded his Western tour. The dinner was also graced by distinguished guests, including His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, Right Honorable Moses Maseka Wetangula, His Excellency Kenneth Lusaka, His Excellency Paul Otuoma, my Deputy Governor Ayub Savula, Dr. Francis Atwoli, MPs led by the host MP Oscar Nabulindo, Kakamega MCS, my cabinet members, Honorable Cleophas Malala, amongst others. And if you look at these photos, you can clearly tell that this was not an impromptu visit. This is something which was well planned and well scripted. And I don't know why I'm not seeing the senator for Kakamega here. Boni Alwale, maybe you can also let me know why Boni Alwale is missing here. And can you explain why Ruto never visited Musalia Mudavadi at his home or Francis Atwoli? And he only chose to visit Barasa. Why do you think William Ruto decided to visit Barasa? That's exactly what I want us to look into this particular video. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dive in. But before we dive in, allow me to thank the following people for the coffee which I received from them. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think William Ruto decided to visit Barasa? For us to understand that, let us go back to 2022, August, after the election. After the 2022 general election, William Ruto identified specific counties and specific governors to work with. And in my view, William Ruto wanted to try and figure out how he was going to frustrate Raila Odinga, especially on his strongholds. He identified Kakamega County, he identified Kisii County, William Ruto identified Busia County, and he also identified Mombasa County, those 4 counties. Then he extended that to Ukambani, where he identified, and William Ruto is going to work very closely with Makwiny Governor, Senator Mutola Kilonzo Jr. And after some point, some of these governors started coming back to Azimio. For example, Barasa started working with Ruto. Then at some point, he started coming back. I think he realized that Ruto was actually keen on having Malala or Alwale as the next governor. So he decided to make a comeback to Azimio. The same to Simba Arati. But something is telling me that probably Ruto has realized that some of these governors are serving their first term in office. And therefore, any attempt to frustrate their first term, they will not agree. And maybe he has agreed with them that he's going to support them in their second term. And that can explain why he's only working with the first term governors. But why do you think Ruto is keen on Barasa? Why do you think he visited Barasa? Number one, Ruto is keen on what I call Luhya unity. You know, Musalia Mudavadi is supposed to be the face of the Luhya, supported by Moses Masika Wetangula. But if you look at the numbers of the last election, Raila defeated Mudavadi, and of course, Wetangula delivered in Bungoma. And William Ruto is also convinced in his own mind that if it were a contest between him and Mudavadi, based even on the figures of the last election, he had a better chance of defeating Mudavadi. So he's planning to bring all these people together to frustrate Raila Odinga. He believes with Mudavadi and his support, the state, he can deliver the Luhya nation, make them unite. Because as long as Luhyas are not perceived to be, for example, as long as Barasa is not working with Mudavadi, there is no way Mudavadi will penetrate Kakamega. But Ruto is keen on Kakamega. So what will he do? He has to force them to work together. He has to bring Atuli on board. He has to bring Barasa on board. He has to bring, who else? Malala on board, probably even Boni Alwale. But I don't understand why Boni Alwale missed this. Number two, William Ruto is also keen on disrupting Raila Odinga schemes. The fact of the matter is that Raila Odinga's politics has always revolved around governance. He normally delegates party managements to governors in counties. And where there are no governors, normally he has his points person, either a member of parliament, a senator, or just his traditional guy somewhere there. This is what William Ruto realized and is trying to disrupt. You see, in Mombasa, currently, Raila Odinga cannot easily organize events with the governor the way Joho used to do for Raila when he was the governor. In Kisii, now that Ruto is working with Arati, it's difficult for Arati to organize events for Raila Amolo Odinga. And of course, if you look at it critically, that's exactly the same scheme is planning in Busia. And of course, even we can talk of even Makwiny. So he's trying to disrupt Raila Odinga's strategy of using governors to arrange his politics, which means now Raila Odinga will have now to rely either on MPs or on MCs. And again on that, William Ruto is moving ahead of him by trying to bring tag-along MPs. For example, after he met with these members of parliament at Barasa's home, I also observed that Raila Odinga also held another meeting with some MCs somewhere in Nairobi. Number three, I'm also convinced that Ruto is planning or is keen on persuading Barasa to support Kenya Kwanza. He understands that Kakamega is probably ODM's stronghold, but he wants the support of the governor. He can't win Kakamega without the governor. So how can he win the support of the governor? Simple. Persuade the governor to join him. How do you persuade the governor to join him? Win his heart. How do you win his heart? Go to his county, do 1, 2, 3, go to his house, eat there, take photos with the family. Then what next? You know, it will be difficult for Barasa now to even start hitting Ruto after that particular event. In fact, if you go through the 48 laws of power, one of the things they always tell people is to avoid free lunch. What Ruto did was to offer Barasa free lunch by going to his house. Number four, Ruto, just like I was explaining, is keen on Kakamega. Because there's no way you can win Luhya nation minus Kakamega. Just like in Luo Nyanza, for you to win Luo Nyanza, you must start with Kisumu. You must take charge of Kondele. For Western Kenya, or for Luhya nation, Kakamega is the epicenter. They have the numbers. I mean, I think it's one of the biggest towns there. Everybody from Luhya nation congregates there. And because he's targeting that, he must work with governor. He must bring Atuli on board. Ruto must bring who else? All those other people on board. Because he wants Kakamega. Kakamega had like over 900,000 registered voters, if I'm not wrong. Yeah? Those votes William Ruto needed. Because Raila Odinga had the majority. If he can tilt them to have the majority, he will be sorted. And I don't just understand how or why Halwale was actually missing in action. And number 5, I'll also read a coded message which William Ruto is sending to the Luhya nation. And if you want to understand that deeper, kindly pay close attention to what Musalia Mudavadi is trying to say in this video during the same event.
Na mimi nataka niwaambie, tulienda kwa eneo ya Rigathi Gachagua. Mimi nataka niwaambie umoja ambao niliona kule, kwa sababu mimi pia nilikuwa kwa naye wiki moja akiwa kule. The unity of purpose in Mount Kenya. Nyinyi watu munye vandu vange, it is so serious, so solid. Hawa hawana hangover ya uchaguzi. Walimaliza, sisi tuna hangover ya uchaguzi hapa. Our good friends, when the president is going there, hakuna mtu anaenda kwa magazeti anasema susia ziara ya rais. La kushangaza, kuna watu hapa bado wanazunguka wanasema susia ziara ya rais. Bure kabisa.
And lastly, I'm also convinced that Ruto is trying to craft a new team for Luhya politics. In Bungoma, take this to the bank. Wangamati is going to be William Ruto's man because he understands Wangamati can actually win. Of course, he has the intelligence report that Wangamati performed compared to the current governor. So he will have Wangamati back. And in Kakamega, Ruto is keen on now having Barasa. Whether Barasa will give in, I'm not so sure. But he, of course, is going to checkmate him. And just like that. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you, guys. And may you have a good day. Bye-bye.